How to discipline your child without hitting or yelling. Are you wondering about effective ways to discipline your child? Maybe you're worried that you are going to under-discipline them and cause them to be spoiled. Or that you'll over-discipline and cause them to be rebellious. These are all valid concerns about how to raise your child to understand the difference between right and wrong. That's why in this video we are going to share with you many effective ways to discipline your child without hitting or yelling. Keep watching to find out. Number 1. Explain consequences of their actions. A great way to teach discipline to your child is to communicate with them. By communication, we mean to let your child know what the consequences of their actions are. For example, your child might like to play really aggressively in the house with a ball. You're worried that they might break a vase with a sentimental value. Let your child know that if they break this vase, that it'll make you really upset and that you'll have to give them a timeout. However, take the time to reward them if they keep their playing within safe bounds. It's important to try and keep your emotions out of the explanation, but make sure the child understands that it'll affect you. Another tip is to make sure that your explanations are age appropriate. Number 2. Listen before punishing. Something that all parents are guilty of is forgetting to listen to their child when they've done something wrong. Without knowing why your child did what they did, and punishing them for it can leave them extremely confused and hurt. For example, your child may have unbuckled their seatbelt before arriving at a location, but they only did it because they thought that they were at the location. However, if you didn't ask why your child undid their seatbelt, then you wouldn't have realized it was a simple mistake. Keep watching until the end, where we'll give you a bonus section on the effects of hitting and yelling as discipline. You don't want to miss it. Number 3. Redirection. This may be a more unconventional tool, but it works extremely well in specific instances. Instead of punishing your child for misbehavior, sometimes it's better to redirect their behavior to something else as a distraction. This tool is mainly used when your child seems to be misbehaving out of boredom or simply not knowing what to do with themselves. As a parent, you know your child best, and you'll have to decide if this technique is the proper one in a specific situation. If you are confused, just ask yourself if your child seems bored or restless. Number 4. Strike a balance. Just as you should be attentive to catching bad behavior and making it clear, so should you be with good behavior. Not only does this reinforce the child's self-efficacy and self-worth, but it also reinforces them to steer clear from bad behaviors. If your child knows that you will show them how good they are when they behave, then they will be much more inclined to continue that behavior because of the reinforcement they get. Number 5. To ignore or to respond. There are cases when your child only acts to get your attention. This thought ties in directly with the last technique. Oftentimes, your child will act just to get your attention, and yes, that sometimes means they will misbehave because they know you are going to pay attention to them. So, not only is it important to pay attention to your child's good and bad behaviors, but sometimes it's good to ignore certain bad behaviors. For example, if you know your child is dropping food they like on purpose, it can be good to ignore them. Eventually, they'll run out of food to eat, which will teach them that their behavior didn't get your attention and they lost something they enjoy. If you really want to enforce good behavior, then every time they eat, you reward them, but every time they drop food, you ignore it. Are you enjoying the video so far? Why not like the video and subscribe to our channel? Don't forget to ring the notification bell for the latest updates. Bonus: why hitting and yelling is ineffective for discipline. There is a great amount of evidence that shows how physically or emotionally abusing a child for discipline has both negative short-term and long-term effects. A study has shown that spanking, instead of teaching a child to behave properly, caused them to be more aggressive and violent. As we've said before, children tend to model their ideals and values after their parents, so if you hit them, they will be more inclined to hit as well. For the short term, they will misbehave more and be more aggressive. In the long term, there is the potential that they will spank their kids as well. The same goes for yelling. This type of emotional abuse causes a lack of healthy development in a child, which ultimately causes misbehavior and negative effects on their mental health. Similarly to spanking, the child can be expected to continue this behavior with their children. As a final note, it is always better to support and encourage good behavior than to punish bad behavior. So, as a parent, the most effective tools to teach discipline are positive reinforcement of good habits. So what do you think of this video? Do you agree with the techniques used to discipline children? Do you have any special techniques that you find work for your children? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching and see you later.